along at you just a bit early today on NEA Report as we are finding out about a shooting that took place last night in Jonesboro, and Jonesboro Police Department looking for help in finding the suspect that may have been involved in this. Let's tell you what we know. First of all, it's a bit of a different area that this was reported in. We're talking about at the 1000 block of Farrell Street in Jonesboro, and it was last night at about 11:10 p.m. that the Jonesboro Police Department was called to an apartment in the 1000 block of Farrell Street. I've got the map pulled up, so let me just go ahead right now and show you guys over on the right side of your screen just exactly where this is at. And if you're wondering, in fact, let me take that full screen because it may be a bit easier for you to see. Let's pull the name bar down too. Farrell Street is not too far from Anticamp Junior High School. That's Anticamp. The red dot right there would be Farrell, and that's where this is reported. So this is kind of near Matthews and G Street, so to speak, giving you kind of a vicinity or an idea of where this would be located at. And it was last night at 11:10 p.m. The Jonesboro Police Department said that they received a call of shots fired. Whenever they got to the scene, it was more than just shots fired, however. Police found that there was a victim of a gunshot wound. According to the victim, he witnessed an unknown number of subjects attacking another person in a parking lot of an apartment complex. I'm going to zoom in there on Farrell so we may be able to see where this apartment complex might be, but honestly, it says the 1000 block, so it could be a number of different houses, or perhaps right about here. This might actually be the one. Tough to say, really, whenever it gives us the general vicinity or the general block. However, it said that the victim went to render aid to this other person who was said to be attacked by a number of victims. That's whenever he punched a member of the group, of the attacker's group. Well, at that time, it says one of the subjects in the group pulled a handgun out. The victim ran from the area and attempted to go back inside of his apartment, but the subject with the handgun fired the weapon several times toward the victim as he ran away. It says that the victim was struck by gunfire and received non-life-threatening injuries. An officer arrived on the scene a short time later to begin trying to find out what was going on. He provided medical care to the victim until an ambulance could arrive. It actually said in the report that the victim was not only transferred to a hospital, but he had to be taken to a Memphis hospital, so we're not sure what his condition is right now, but it could be serious. At the same time, detectives began gathering evidence to try to find out just what is going on and why. That's a tougher question to answer. The why part, sometimes there's no answer for that. But detectives have not made any arrests as of our last check in with Jonesboro Police Department. That's why we wanted to come at you a little bit early today, because there's a chance that there's that suspect out there, and somebody that could watch this might have a clue about who that this suspect is. We showed you the general area that this took place in last night. The 1000 block of Farrell Street in Jonesboro. If you have any information that could assist detectives in finding who may have been responsible for this, they're asking for you to contact Jonesboro Police Department, 870-935-6710. You can also contact Crime Stoppers at 870-935-STOP. There's a lot of information in this story, so I know a lot of folks are going to be looking at it and hoping to find out more, or maybe they want to read this stuff that I'm telling you about. It's all at neareport.com. If you'd like to go there and read the actual text to the story, we're hoping to find out more information from JPD. I'm just checking my email right now to see if we've gotten anything new on this, and we have not as of yet, but if we do this afternoon, we're going to be bringing that along to you here on NEA Report. So it's a bit of a coming at you early afternoon with the breaking news today. We wanted to let you know about this story immediately, considering that there may be a suspect that's wanted and out on the loose because of this. If you will bear with us for a minute, we'll take a commercial break, and we'll come right back at you and tell you what your weather looks like, plus we'll see if there are any other updates to this story we can talk about here on NEA Report. Thanks for being with us today.
The Jonesboro Advertising and Promotion Commission welcomes you to the Downtown Jonesboro Barbecue and Music Festival. This year's festival kicks off Friday, September 28th with the second annual SCA State Contest and live music from Fuel. Then Saturday, it's the 10th annual KCBS Sanctioned Barbecue Contest with $10,000 in cash prizes. Then Saturday night, Smash Mouth rocks the Ritter Communications stage. Hey now, you're an all-star. It's the Downtown Jonesboro Barbecue and Music Festival, September 28th and 29th, presented by the Jonesboro A&P Commission.
Family Medical Clinic of Walnut Ridge and Bono are your neighborhood healthcare providers, and we're now accepting new patients. We know you have a tight schedule, so we're here 6 days a week at both locations from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Walk-ins are welcome. In Walnut Ridge, stop by 1045 West Main Street or call us to make an appointment, 886-8300. In Bono, we're on Highway 63 North or call 930-9990. Walnut Ridge Family Medical Clinic and Bono Family Medical Clinic. Here for you, when you need us.
Back with you live on NEA Report. Just before we move on to the weather, I did get a street view pulled up here from Google Maps that I wanted to show you because it may show us the apartment complex that this was reported in last night. This is an apartment complex located at the 1000 block of Farrell Street, and there are not a whole lot of them that are kind of in and around the vicinity there, but this one may give us a better idea, just generally speaking, of where this took place and what happened. Police still searching for a suspect in the case as one man shot, hospitalized in Memphis last night. And if you have any information about, the victim or any information about the suspect, rather, that would probably be more helpful. Contact Jonesboro Police Department. They are actively working this case today. Time for a look at your New Wave Wireless forecast, home of the $49 iPhone screen repair. It's a beautiful week across Northeast Arkansas today, and all week long. We have seen that being the case, but we're only a couple of days in, really, so let's see what it does for the rest of the week before we count our chickens, before the eggs hatch, so to speak. For us today, partly sunny with a high around 77 and 62 for the low tonight. Can you imagine actually possibly seeing a scenario where you turned on your heat tonight? That would be incredible. Tomorrow, it's going to be a cloudy day, a high around 79, 85 by Thursday, 87 by Friday, and 86 by Saturday. Warming up a little bit as we move into the weekend, but not too terribly much, staying around the mid-80s by the time the weekend rolls around. It's about 76 degrees. No rainfall in the forecast. They've eliminated our only small chance that we had. So it looks to be that we will actually be hopefully experiencing a nice week, as I mentioned, with nice temperatures and hopefully some nice times ahead for us here. So we're coming at you a bit early today, and one of the reasons that we wanted to do that was breaking news. But there's more to talk about today, specifically 9/11. That's what today is. In fact, it's Tuesday, 9/11, which is an anniversary of an anniversary. It was Tuesday, September 11th, 2001, that I was going to high school at Pocahontas Junior High School, and I was attending a math class early in the morning. Second period rolled around and American history began. American history began before the class began, because it was that morning that we found out through a teacher running into our room and telling us that the trade towers were under attack, that something very different was happening in America. What was happening was the change of life as we knew it. We had always felt safe going into that day, but that day changed a lot of that because as little kids, myself included, were watching the television screen. We watched the two trade towers collapse, and we saw thousands of people die that day. It changed a whole lot of stuff. It changed me. Because when I watched all that take place, I watched Peter Jennings and I watched the other news anchors of the day making sense of chaos. Total chaos. There was panic in our classroom. Up the road, as a matter of fact, in Pocahontas, Arkansas, the Flash Market, the gas station that was near the school, was completely, the line was all the way down to the highway because so many people were freaking out that gas was going to be unaffordable or unpurchasable before long. We thought the world was ending that day. It really did feel like that. So for kids today that have grown up and do not know what it was like to experience or watch that, it was terrifying. It was also the day that I specifically decided to do the news. That day was when I decided this is what I was going to do with my life, or at least what I was going to devote a great deal of my life to, because in the midst of the panic, the only people that could make sense and remain calm, or at least appeared to be calm, were the news anchors. It made me realize that remaining calm in the midst of a lot of emotion and panic, and sometimes fear, sadness, and anger too, was one of the most important traits to have, especially for a news anchor, but generally speaking, a good trait to have for anybody. It was on that day that I decided that I was going to do this, and I couldn't be able to bring you to the news today without mentioning what that it meant to me to watch so many people lose their lives senselessly over an attack on our country. It took us a long time to understand why that attack took place. In fact, many of us still don't understand why that it took place. There's so many different cultures and unique people out there in the world. However, hopefully we will always try our best to be empathetic towards people that aren't like us. But at the same time, it was, it was 17 years ago. that our world was changed, and that mine specifically found a lot of meaning on that day. And I hope that we will never forget that. Certainly, I know that I won't. I appreciate everybody for joining us on NEA Report today, and of course, bringing you breaking news a bit early today. Thank you all for joining us, liking, sharing, and following on Facebook. We will be back tomorrow. Actually, we may be back today. We're planning on doing more news today. I'm not sure if I'm going to do another live stream today or not, but you never know. It could happen, right? Let's turn the music down a little bit while I can keep talking here. I'm Stan Morris. See you back here in just a bit with more news from Northeast Arkansas, if it happens. Not expecting to do a standard 3 p.m. broadcast today, but I'm planning on doing some more news for you. Hope you guys have a great afternoon.